I hope everybody had a great summer. We have a pleasure of having Bandhana today from Koffman Southern Incubator. I'm so honored to introduce Bandhana Katoch today, who is Executive Director of Koffman Southern Tier Incubator. Bandhana is a business development professional with over 20 years of experience in supporting entrepreneurs, their businesses, and the ecosystems that support them. She has extensive experience in conducting technology assessments for early stage technologies in various areas of agriculture, food sustainability, and in medical life sciences. In her career, she has worked with over 300 federal funded small businesses and more than 1,000 small community businesses across Missouri, California, and now New York. She's a key to build entrepreneur ecosystems both in the US and internationally. We're so glad to have her, and without further ado, here is Bandhana Katoch.
Thank you. Thank you. It's a pleasure and honor to meet everyone here. I'll start the presentation now, but please feel free to ask any questions as we get along or wait till the end, however you find it convenient. So, hello everyone. Thank you for joining. If you're joining from the United States this early, if you're joining from the other side of the world, then thank you for staying up late. I know it's 10 o'clock in the night for Korea, so thank you for choosing to be here. I look forward to share about Koffman Incubator, as well as the soft landing program we host in the incubator. So this is actually the building of Koffman Incubator, located in Binghamton, New York, about 3.5 hours north of New York City. So we have the best of two worlds. We can connect with New York City whenever we want to see the hustles and bustles of cosmopolitan city, and we can then get into a very beautiful location in upstate New York when we have to focus on work. So perks of being closer to major cities. I'm Bandhana Katoch, Executive Director of the Incubator. So we'll discuss a little bit about, incubator, different startup spaces we have, our programs, kind of companies, how you can get involved, and then additional opportunities for you to engage with the US market. So just a little bit about brief background about Koffman Incubator, what it is. It literally started with the question from our president, current president, Harvey, who joined the university in 2012, so about 10 years from now, where he mentioned about looking to have an incubator in Binghamton University. And from that question started the groundbreaking in 2015. By 2016, we had started building the location, and 2017 April is when we officially launched. So just this year we finished 7 years of our operations, with 2 years, of course, during pandemic time. The overview: we currently have 65 member companies, and we host 4 different kind of spaces. We have dry and wet labs. So if you are an R&D company and looking for R&D space, we have about 500 square foot research labs. We also have dry labs, co-working spaces, private offices, and various event center. And as a member of Koffman, you have free access to the entire building 24/7, as well as free access to a lot of amenities in the building. Just some fast facts about, we have, I mentioned in the last slide, 65 current member companies, which are physically located. We also have additionally 20 more companies. So in total, we have 84 companies that join us in membership from all over the world and all over the country. Our clean energy portfolio is fairly significant, and I'll get into that little bit in a minute, why that is the case. And then we have so far hosted about 75 international companies, out of which 13 companies are currently hosted in Koffman Incubator. We have graduated since 2017, 29 companies, and that number as of December will increase to 36 companies. So 9 of our companies are graduating this year. Different programs and training courses, and our economic impact in the last 5 years have been about 500 million. And we measure that economic impact by the amount of federal and state grant funding our member companies are able to raise. So different programs, I'll go very quickly into this because I want to really jump into the soft landing program, which would be of most interest to international companies. But we do offer NSFI code funded by National Science Foundation that is specifically focused on customer discovery to ensure that the companies are engaging with their customers as they expand into different markets. As part of the program for membership, we offer student experience. So you are eligible to get student interns from the university that are paid by New Energy New York. So there is no cost to the company. Different incubator program, we have sustainability accelerator program, app and website. So we gear towards different sectors, clean energy incubator. We also have equity and justice training series where we support low and moderate income communities, socially and disadvantaged economic communities throughout the country and throughout the world. And then finally, Soft Landing New York program, which I am going to focus today mostly on for our presentation. So jumping straight into Soft Landing, growing your business in the US market. It's a hybrid program. The next cohort we have just started and launched our fall 2024 program. Spring 2025 program will start in January, and I'll go a little bit deeper into that. So this program is accessible to you for free, and it is made possible to be accessed to you for free. Just moving the gallery here. Okay. Because it is funded by Department of Commerce, Economic Development Administration. We received 1.6 million grant from EDA to launch this program, and we officially launched it in January 2022. So every year we do 2 cohorts, one in the spring that starts in January and goes until May, another one in August that starts in August and goes until December. So we are currently in our fall cohort, and we, as of this year, December 2024, we'll complete 6 cohorts of this program. So it is one of the premier soft landing program. It is also registered under International Business Incubator Association, one of the main programs in the United States to support international companies so that they could evaluate and navigate their way into US market. So one of the 3 major challenges that we have seen for companies when they enter the market in the US is regulatory challenges, misunderstanding of customers, and of course, inadequate sales and marketing strategy. And many of these are true wherever you expand in any other countries too, but they become very tricky when it is in the United States. One is because of the cost that is associated with these challenges. Another is because of just the navigation of different grants and funding opportunities that are available for the companies. So to address, when we were building this program, deciding the curriculum of this program and what resources we are going to offer to international companies, these 3 challenges were the main core of our curriculum. We made sure that the things we developed in this program are going to be something that address these challenges, hopefully directly. So then as we developed, how can soft landing program help? First and foremost, it helps to ensure that you literally have a soft landing in the United States. And before that, it provides necessary business, legal, and operational resources. And I'll get into that a little bit deeper also. We have also seen there is a huge transition and learning curve for many foreign entrepreneurs as they get into new business environment. All of you are probably aware, every country has their own unique business cultures. And we hope that when we are providing this program, we are not only looking at it from a very practical standpoint, what legal and business resources you need, we also are looking at a cultural integration of international entrepreneurs into US culture. We try to equip companies with various tools and knowledges that includes identifying marketing opportunities. We have different resources that are available for free regarding market research, operational requirements, and then also hopefully connect you to potential customers and partners in the US market. As I mentioned before, this is also involves that as a company, as part of this company, you are able to engage with student interns so that they could be your eyes and ears on the ground while you are thinking to move from your country to United States. So New York State in itself, and you might think like there are many other states who are jumping in this wagon to kind of see how they could make their respective state attractive for international companies. New York, in that sense, have been a trailblazer. And part of the reason for that is because of New York Stock Exchange has been active, face for globalization around the world for many years now, for at least few decades, when foreign companies were allowed to have them listed on New York Stock Exchange. And that really opened the door, and also the mindset and time frame for New York State to really look at international companies and explore different programs that can be helpful for the international companies. So as New York State, a lot of times this is something that kind of gets lost because, of course, New York City has always been a great tourist attraction for Statue of Liberty and many other things which you might seem attractive. But really, when it comes to business, sometimes we don't realize that New York State, if it would have been an 11th independent nation, is actually the 11th largest economy in the world. And that says a lot about the state itself. There are different tax-based incentives that are available through the state. There's a tax credit programs. I can get into it more deeper, where they provide, tax credits to high-tech venture companies that are making significant capital investments. And there, of course, fine prints to each of this program, but our goal is that we can help you resolve those fine prints that come with these programs and be that conduit that you need as you expand to the US market. There's also a tax-free program. This is very attractive, and it is applicable for 10 years. And we have currently at least 6 or 7 companies which are international companies who are taking advantage of it. And I have gathered some testimonials from them for this presentation. So you'll see them later in the presentation. So that allows you to have tax-free for 10 years, different eligibility, as long as you are located or co-located on university or college campus. And voila, Koffman is actually located on University Koffman eligible company. So if you're located in Koffman, that's the program you can take benefit of. There's also employee training incentive program that allows you to look at workforce locally and regionally. And if you do so, there are refundable tax credits that are available for your company. Different kind of innovation and venture capital that is supported by New York State. There's New York Ventures that have actively deployed about $300 million in capital through various equity programs. There is NYSTAR program, and Koffman is a listed NYSTAR program recipient. In fact, our business incubator program is run through the funding of those. And so through that program, we have a lot of resources that we can provide. And I've listed them as what different assistance we can provide through that. There's also manufacturing. If you're looking into establishing your manufacturing or prototyping plant in the New York State or in US, there is different manufacturing extension partnerships that you have access to. So why Southern Tier? So Southern Tier is well known for its battery innovation. And if you follow the clean energy market, in 2029, Dr. Stan Whittingham, who was recently also given the title of Sir from UK, is hosted in Binghamton University. His research lab is here, the photograph of it right here in Binghamton University. And because of that, we have been able to secure close to $300 million in federal grants that are accessible to clean energy companies. The focus of that grant is especially battery and energy storage, but also to ancillary applications that are applicable to clean energy and battery storage. So there are different incubator programs. In New York State, there are 6 clean energy incubator. Those were funded around in 2018. And we are one of the few incubators among that 6 incubators that have been able to develop a strong portfolio of companies, close to 65 clean energy companies. What does that mean for you? If you are a clean energy companies, yes, you are looking to expand into US market, but you also have your peer entrepreneurs within incubator that can share their stories of trials and tribulations. And that always goes a very long way from peer learning as well. So those are different sectors that we have. And as part of that funding, we have continued to expand our resources in Southern Tier. New Energy New York was literally an initiative that was launched through the federal funding I mentioned previously, and the way it has been designated. So United States federal government designated 31 technology hubs around the country for different sectors. And Binghamton University, where Koffman Incubator is hosted, was one of the few 31 tech hubs which also received Regional Innovation Engine grant, making it to 300 million. So we received about 160 in the engine grant, and we received another 113 million in the initiative. Now, through that initiative, what we have been able to do is truly bring in innovation, translation, and workforce development across the entire battery supply chain, which you're seeing: materials, battery compositions, chemistries, packaging, applications, and then recycling as well. So we really focus on 3 major pillars of R&D. If you're looking to develop your research focus of your company here, if you're looking to translate or expand your manufacturing, as well as any kind of supply chain partners you are looking to have. We currently have close to 600 plus supply chain partners, co-manufacturers, co-packers that you can get access to as you become part of this. I know I've talked a lot about clean energy because that's what is one of the focus, and in recent times, Koffman Incubator and this area have received some major press publications. However, as a region, we also have great stories for food and agriculture. Cornell Agritech or Cornell University sits about 40 minutes from us. And what they have been able to do, they have Center of Excellence for Food and Agriculture. Soft Landing Program, which I'm sharing with you today, is a shared program between Binghamton University and Cornell University. And that's how we are able to capture the entire clean energy as well as food and agriculture. They also have Center of Excellence for Food and Agriculture at Cornell Agritech. One of the things I want to highlight that New York State have established 3 major competition programs. There's one is Grow New York, and Grow New York is a food and agriculture competition which which gives away cash prize up to 3 million. So there is 1 million awardee, there is 2 $500,000 awardees, and there's 4 $250,000 awardees. And then there's generally another one for $50,000 for public. And Soft Landing Program has actually done fantastic in this competition. This is going to be the 7th cohort. We have a final competition coming here in Ithaca on November 6th and 7th. And through our Soft Landing Program, last 3 years, the international companies have won in this Grow New York competition. We had Clean Label Solution that won $250K last year. This year, they selected 20 companies globally. They received close to 547 applications this year. They selected 20 companies to pitch for that 1 million and other cash prizes. And through that, 3 of our soft landing companies from previous years have been in top 20. There is another program, Luminate. So if you are in optics and photonics out of Rochester, there is a Luminate Accelerator program. Koffman is a very close partner with them as well. And they work across the entire applications of optics, photonics, and imaging. And they also have a competition. The final of that competition is coming up this month, September 25th, and they disperse about similar $3 million in optics, photonics, and imaging sector. And then Koffman currently is running another program, Charge Up Accelerator, which focuses on battery and energy storage, which provides you $25,000 for participant stipend, and then has a follow-on investment funding. These are different areas in terms of what I shared before is all the infrastructure, the facilities, any kind of testing, safety, regulation infrastructure you need. We have been able to establish partnership with various companies. Upstate New York, which is not necessarily always talked about, also hosts many international leaders. Lockheed Martin is about 20 miles from us, BAE Systems, Universal Instruments. If you have used, any calculator or calculus calculators, Universal Instrument is right down the lane here. Raymond Corporation, very active in aerospace industry. So we also host various industries which are relevant to these different sectors I was mentioning, working on Chobani, which is now gaining some attraction in terms of a lot of yogurt from the food side, is also hosted here. So there are six major benefits in terms of, I'm just doing a time check to make sure I'm on time.
Oh, you're fine, Bandhana. This is great.
Okay. Okay. All right. So as I mentioned, there were three major things from the previous slides: regulatory, marketing challenge, and customer. Those are the main core things for us when we were designing this program. So there are 6 core benefits we have worked to make sure that hopefully that will address some of those challenges, or at least take you onto the path of resolving those challenges. So through that engagement and that brainstorming, which we did to establish this, and in last 6 cohort, as we are starting our 6th cohort now, we have, revised, made sure we kept our eyes and ears on the ground, took feedback from the companies that have come from different countries, and then have established 6 major benefits. First of all is workshop series. These are all virtual workshops. They are 2-hour workshops, and they start from the beginning of the program. We have compiled a list of 13 workshops. I have highlighted one of the workshops, customer discovery, which I will get into a little bit depth in the next slide. But if you look at the list of these workshops, and we bring in the experts from these sectors to really share with you, as an international companies, what access you have, what are the do's, what are the don'ts, how to navigate through those areas. So these are very carefully curated and crafted workshops and discussed with the speakers who come to conduct these workshops. And these are all virtual workshops accessible from anywhere. Now, getting into the workshop that was highlighted, customer discovery. Customer discovery, we have focused on 3 major practicum sessions. We try to share in those 3 sub-workshops under that major workshop is how to reach out to potential customer, how should you map out US ecosystem and market, who should you interview, because we believe in interviews. So we ask, and more so for international companies, and over the time we have got this feedback that many companies They would come to US, they would spend extensive amount of money, and then they would realize that the customers they understood was different, or the way the US ecosystem works is different. And many of them gave us feedback, oh, I wish I could have talked to customers. I had an opportunity to talk to them before I moved to United States. My business case would have been different. And keeping in mind that feedback, we have designed these workshops, how to reach what is the ecosystem, who should you interview to truly understand the pulse of your industry, the pulse of the area your company is going to develop solutions for, and what are the current challenges which US market cares for and cares for enough to pay for it. To develop interview questions. This is in terms of cross-cultural competencies and cross-cultural understanding, how to request for an interview and how to conduct an interview. And these workshops are done in a way that they are able to do an examples of it. We usually request companies that through these workshops, this is the only workshop where you will get an homework. We ask you to conduct at least 20 interviews. In our normal NSFI cohort, we actually ask companies to conduct 100 interviews. But we understand that for international companies, when they're going across borders, because of time difference, because of many other difficulties, sometimes conducting 100 interviews virtually can be very difficult. So we have reduced the number to 20, but we do think 20 is really important to truly understand the different segments and the personas of our customers. And this particular workshop has done very well for the companies. The 13 companies who then decided to come and locate in Koffman are doing wonderful. And I must say that one of the companies I'll talk about, Hub Controls from Ireland, was the recipient of $1 million previously. And that's how they were able to move here, and they have now employed close to 20 people. We also support customized mentorship assistance, where we assign you US mentors who are able to guide you, navigate you through while you're doing the curriculums of various workshops. They help you address different questions which you have. When should you raise money from US VCs? How should you pitch? And various other things that you might. This mentor is assigned to you based on your technical area as well as business area, to make sure that they are able to provide you a good understanding of the market as you begin through your customer discovery. Third benefit is student research assistance. We provide different students from business school, from College of Engineering, where you can use them for different R&D work, different business work, marketing work. We had a company which came in a previous cohort from UAE, and business students were able to develop a market report for them, which completely changed their business model, because they were able to understand a different aspect of market, which they are not currently addressing because that's not a need in their own country, but turned out to be a bigger need in the US. And they had to change their entire business model based on that market report, and then validated that through their customer discovery. Market Exploration Bootcamp, as I mentioned in the beginning of this program presentation, that this is a hybrid program. So for 4 months, you have different virtual workshops, all listed, 13 of them. And then towards the end of the program, we invite you to visit us for 1 week. It's an in-person program where we do conduct different seminars. We introduce you to various economic development agencies within the region, so that you are able to connect and link with the people in the region and start forming some roots in the region. Connections, we of course make a lot of introductions, different matchmaking, different folks, from suppliers to marketing to website. We maintain a community asset map, which lists various service providers you have within the region for you to have access to. So the success story of this program, those are different sectors, different cohorts, the company. The last one is not updated yet, which we have just enrolled, and that would make our company close to 70. We are hosting about 16 companies now. So those are different breaking of different industries sectors we have supported. And if you notice, food and agriculture and clean energy have been the major sectors that we have supported in our past cohorts. This is the representation of various countries that we have been. We feel very proud that in the 4 cohorts that are finished so far, we have 54 foreign startups, 32 countries, and 5 continents. So that is a very big success story or a bragging right that we are able to support so many international companies and truly make it an inclusive environment for our companies in Koffman. This is a program timeline. So the next cohort application deadline is November 10th. The notification of your application status, whether you have been selected in the program, is by end of November. The program starts in January. The current cohort is already started. The next cohort will start in January. And then in February, we will launch our one-on-one mentorships. In February, we also launch different student projects as well as online workshops. Around May, there's a tentative dates, but May is the market exploration bootcamp, and then May 16th is a graduation event. Our program manager, Atanas, there is an email, you can reach out to him and he will provide you all the details you need for the program. This is just a little bit about various companies that have been part of the program, that have got good insights from the program. Hub Controls, I just mentioned, who have won $1 million in 2019, and they are currently hosted in Koffman and have been expanding through Koffman. BioInsight, one of the companies from South Korea, I wanted to highlight, since this is focusing on Korean regional ecosystem, and Hojin have been a great partner, have utilized Koffman space. Whenever he visits United States, he is there for 2-3 months expanding his business, and have really been expanded into various companies and their connections here, and has been able to get a good amount of funding as well. With that, I'll stop now. Any questions? I have listed point of contacts here. I'm Bandhana Katoch, Elena Iankova, she's the Director of Soft Landing, and Atanas, who's a Program Business Manager. And you can reach out to any of us for any questions. And this is really a drone image of Koffman. If you really see that big building, and right next to it, another small building, that's all Koffman area. So with that, I will take any questions you might have.
Thank you so much, Bandhana. It was very insightful and very informative. I really appreciate this time and the insight you're sharing. I don't see any there's questions in the chat box yet, but if anybody have any questions, please let us know. Let me, if not, I mean, I have a question about assisting with the non-dilutive funding. You have extensive experience of getting the government subsidies and grants, etc. So if you can highlight on that aspect of how you can assist the startups, that would be wonderful.
So we assist startups in few ways, right? So one, we, of course, are continuously monitoring and navigating what funding programs are, notice of funding opportunities are coming out at federal and state level. So we maintain a monthly digest where all our members are able to receive in one place all the notice of funding opportunities that has come out that month and are due for incoming months. That is for federal and state. So that's just as a resource, we try to collate everything, because we have over the years seen that a lot of companies will miss it. And so because we are looking across, we just now have set up enough alerts and stuff, and we maintain good contacts with federal and state agencies which will see us as their outreach partners and say, hey, this is the program we are launching. So first is identification, which I think is the first recognition, because a lot of time companies don't even identify for which of those programs they'll be eligible. So we can identify that for them. Once they have identified, we support them through looking at what information, what is the criteria, they need to have in order for them to make a stronger application. So we work with them very closely. We, unfortunately, because of the bandwidth, cannot write a grant for them. But what we do instead, all Koffman members receive up to $3,000 to use it to hire a grant writer. We have preferred grant writers as well. Those grant writers bring their own expertise from the specific industries they are focused on. We have grant writers in clean energy, food and agriculture, in environmental protection. So we have grant writers in various sectors. And so depending upon where your company and which agency you are looking to apply, we give you reference to 3 to 4 grant writers that you can choose for. You can choose from others also if you have others, but these are the listed referrals we maintain. There's no cost for those referrals. Once those grant writers help you, we pay those grant writers directly. So the funding which I mentioned goes towards that. So that gives you access to grant writers. That gives you ability to write a good quality of application. Internally, we do have 3 rounds of reviews for the grants. So we review it very carefully, especially for federal grants. One of the major issues we have seen for federal grants is the budget piece. So we also helps in the budget, development, budget proposal that federal government needs to see for the companies. So identifying grant writing as well as grant review. And then last one is sometimes many of these grants look for letter of support, letter of commitment. When a company is coming from a different country, it takes some time. Sometimes it takes years to develop those connections where the partners feel comfortable to give that letter of commitment. So we become that conduit. When we select our companies to become our member, it's a stamp of credibility we give to those companies. And so when a partner is approaching them, they reach out to Koffman and say, hey, this is a Koffman member company. They've requested for letter of support. What is your recommendations on that? So we provide support from the letter of support as well. So that's from the federal side. State side, we are state partner for New York State. And so state works with us very closely in order for us to see how our companies can be supported. So currently in our Startup New York program, the tax credit one, which I'm saying, currently 21 companies are registered in that and taking benefit of tax credits.
Wow, okay. Thank you so much. I mean, it's a wonderful program to be a part of, and I wish I had a startup to join with. And it looks like you have a handful of cohort of members every season. And can we ask, what criteria do you have you're looking for in especially international companies to come to the US and to get your support?
Any particular area that's what you're asking?
Sorry?
I was just trying to paraphrase the question so that I could address it accurately.
Oh, okay. So what are you looking for in the startups that you select to be a part of your program?
Yeah. Sure. So, when we started the program Soft Landing, we intentionally did not keep any technology readiness levels or any kind of stage of company that it should be, because we really wanted to see what companies are looking for. Can we offer the program for them? Now with doing it for a few years, doing few cohorts of it, going through 50, 60 companies, what we have learned is a good time to expand to US market is when they are at least technology readiness level of 3 or 4. So they should have a prototype. They should have a prototype that makes sense in the US market. Or sometimes one of our Australian company, I forgot to mention, Airofresh recently won a Clean Fight challenge for food and agriculture. They have a technology that helps in purifying the air, which results in less spoilage of food, especially perishable item. The company is already active in UK. They're already active in Australia. And so when they came to Soft Landing Company to Binghamton, we were able to make right connections. And of course, they were competitively selected globally to participate in that program. And that allows them now to do pilot testing because their product was ready. Pilot testing with Walmart and Con Edison, which is one of a very established, retail chain. And that's a beginning to the US market for them. So I think an ideal stage for companies to take advantage for this is TRL level 3 and 4, because they can really pick up things and expand. Having said that, in few years, we have also supported, because if the application, if the idea and innovation is good, we have supported earlier stage companies as well. But we try to at least bring in companies who at least have prototype and some validated business model in their own respective companies, because it is very difficult to make an expansion to US market with the expense it relates to, because we can do programs to support them with their expense and all the efforts they're taking, but we cannot completely compensate that. So there is still an extensive cost associated with companies to move to United States. And so we are very conscious of that. So we have supported early stage, but we try to see if the companies are a little more advanced, then they can kind of hit the ground and start running much faster. And that's always better for them from the bottom line of their income statement.
Okay. We have a question in the chat box right now. For the international startup founders, do you have any support for housing or dorm? And also, do you need a special visa to participate in this, or can you do it with an ESTA to participate in this program?
So for housing, we have established contacts with few apartment owners or management companies that allows you to have access. We haven't been able to get a student dorm per se, because that has been very difficult. It's not that we have not pitched, we just haven't gotten an attraction for that. But what we have been able to do is connect with few apartment referral systems as part of our community asset, who are able to then host you either in a furnished place or in a co-housing situation with other international companies. And what was the second question, Sujani?
It was a visa. Do you need to get a special visa to be a part of the program?
So generally what we do is, as soon as you're selected, we send you a letter of invitation so that you could apply. Most of the companies apply for B1 visa, which is a visitor visa, because you're coming here for a week to test the waters, for lack of a better way to say it. So you can come here on visitor visa. This is the training program that is for free. So we send special invitation letters through EDA so that you are able to use that to get visa. And then that allows you to come and check. And then, of course, if this is a good fit for you, then of course you can have different visas. But so far what companies have done, they have taken B1 visa. They have come here, visited us during the program, and then they have visited us again, because that B1 visa is valid for certain amount of time, depending upon different countries. They visit us few times before they make a final decision of then coming here on L1 visa and stuff. And the way we support that is, we have a few immigration law firms who can help you with that process, who can guide you through that process. And as part of our workshops, we have designed that where they talk in depth about different visas, because for different countries, there can be different visa situations.
Sure. Okay, thank you so much. Actually, I have another question about the fundraising fund. I mean, we talked about the non-dilutive funding, and in terms of the introductions to investors and VCs, how much can we rely on you in terms of that capital introduction side?
So we maintain a good list of investors, but investors, in any country are tricky. So, what I can say that what we do is we take the pitch, we support through our company support program, we also support developing a good pitch deck. Because, working in, I don't know if any one of you are academic entrepreneurs, but when you work with a lot of faculty entrepreneurs, their slide deck look more like a research proposal than a pitch deck. So sometimes it takes a lot of work to develop a pitch deck. We have also seen that in many international entrepreneurs that their pitch deck can be reflective of different business cultures and business perspective they bring from their respective countries. So first and foremost, we support them to develop a good pitch deck that is relevant for American investors. Then we forward those pitch decks to various investors we have in our network. If the investor expresses interest, then we are able to connect. We have some equity-based funding available at Koffman as well, but it's about $50,000 and stuff. So it's not like significant, but anywhere from $10,000 to $50,000, we also invest in various companies. We are currently raising a fund up to 10 million. If we are successful in a year, then, of course, we'll have some investment fund within Koffman to be able to support the pre-seed money to our companies.
Okay. Oh, thank you so much. That's amazing. Okay, that's great. Is there any other questions that you may have from the participants? Okay, great. Thank you so much for sharing all this. You have an excellent program. I really want Korean founders to benefit from this, and I'm definitely will promote this after our webinar to the community. And also, Bandhana has kindly sent us her presentation too. Can I share that with everyone if needed? Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, great. So
I can send you a revised presentation after the webinar. And
okay, that's great. That's great. So if anybody wants to have a presentation, please reach out to me. I'll be happy to handle that for you. Thank you so much again for participating on this time. We have a webinar coming up with Margarett Jolly, who used to work at Con Edison and dealing with all of the alternative energy suppliers. So with her, you will learn how to deal with large utility companies if you are alternative energy supplier. So that'll be great to have you next week as well. Thank you so much, Bandhana, for everything.
Thank you. Thank you,
And,
everyone, and
yeah.
appreciate. I know it's late night for you, and you took out time to spend it with me here, and appreciate your presence. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you again, and then hope to see you all again soon. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.